Hey guys, so I wanted to come on and share some tips for you guys about dealing with burnout. I don't know about you all, but there have been moments and are moments where I get burned out and I need to help myself. And so being, having different roles and different responsibilities and just circumstances and environment, there's so many elements that can burn you out. And it's important that we understand that about ourselves, and it's important that we understand our demeanor, how our demeanor changes, and that we're in tune to that element, because a lot of people are not in tune to it, and they just drive themselves straight into the ground. So it's very important that, number one, you recognize, okay, I'm getting completely burnt out. And most of the time for me, it is, I just get very agitated. Like, I'm very agitated. I feel just like overwhelmed and just tired and mentally drained. And so here are a couple things that I do. In the moment that I've hit the burnout point, I remove myself from the situation, because at that point I'm really not being productive at all, and I'm not getting anything done. So the first thing I will do, I'll be like, okay, I need a change of scenery, right? Even just moving your computer or moving what you're doing to another place and spot can be re-energizing and can help you push through to the end. But if you're just in, you're just having you've hit your wall and you're burnt out for multiple reasons, the first thing I do is brain dump everything. Because usually when you're dealing with burnout, there's a lot of things that you're trying to analyze and remember and get back to, and you're being pulled in different directions. So it's just like a hodgepodge of stuff that you need to get done, and it's making you feel burned out, because you're just feeling like you're never going to get to the end of that list. So the biggest thing I do to help myself when I'm getting in that situation, I brain dump every single thing on a sheet of notebook paper. And even if it's in that moment, I'll just leave that sheet of notebook, just go to the other room, go turn some music on, go get a snack, just change the scenery, go take a lap, I'll get down on the floor and play with the kids, whatever it is, just to, in that moment, pause before I get totally squirreled out. But then what I like to do is come back to that list, and I put timestamps on everything. I learned this from my mom, actually. She's the master at list making, and it is so much easier to see everything you need to do with an estimated time of what it's going to take to get that done. And then that's easy to plug and play into your calendar or into your schedule, and know okay, this is approximately going to take me 2 hours, so I can get this done on Saturday afternoon, or whatever it is. And you go through your list and you put time approximations that it's going to take you to do that. And then you just use that list alongside your calendar and plug and play the things that you can fit in where your schedule allows. That is a huge productivity tip that I have that helps me deal with overwhelm, because part of my overwhelm is I'm constantly overanalyzing things. And so just getting everything that's bothering me down on paper that I'm worried about, or need to come back to, or need to check in on, or whatever the circumstance is, having it all right there, I don't feel like I have to remember it up here. And I am notorious for trying to remember everything in my head instead of writing it in my calendar. And I've gotten a lot better about that over the years, but using this technique really helped me, because it helps just keep things in front of me, of knowing all the things I need to do and having a running list of how much time I need to schedule out to get those things completed. So that's important. Brain dump everything that you're dealing with and go take a breather. It's important that we recognize we can't pour from an empty cup. I know you guys have heard that analogy so many times, but it's so true. We have to really gauge where we're at. If we didn't get enough sleep the night before, or if, we have a project deadline that we're not as far along on that we need to be done with, all these looming things, we really need to understand what it is that's bothering us and address that issue there, and make sure that you're building in time to have space and margin in your day. Don't over commit yourself to things, and don't over plug and play in your calendar things to do. Be realistic. And I always talk about my top 3. Having my top 3 for the day keeps that reality check there, but keeps me moving forward, because I know if I get those 3 things done today, like, I'm going to be able to make progress. And that's why I like to do my to-do list that way. But one of the biggest things for me is when I'm feeling burnout is to remove distractions and to remove those elements that are stressing me out, because I know if you're on a deadline or you're in a difficult circumstance, caring for somebody, caregivers deal a lot with burnout. And it's kind of similar to compassion fatigue. So if you guys don't know what compassion fatigue is, I did an entire podcast episode on it. The podcast is The Thought Vault, and there's an entire episode on compassion fatigue. A lot of caregivers deal with this because they're just constantly having to give of themselves and deal with the emotions of other people and just being a caretaker. And parents, we're caretakers. We care for our kids and we are their lifeline. So we get burnt out, and the pressure of everything can really overwhelm us at times. So it's important that we're doing things daily for self-care. And if you just hit a wall that day, put what you're trying to get done down, because it's only going to make you more aggravated. You're not going to get it done at the quality that you need to, and you're probably gonna have to go back and redo it. If you're just burnt out from being at home and being with your kids, change up your schedule, change up what you're doing, go outside, remove yourself from the environment that you're in, that you're feeling that overwhelming sense of just being completely burned out. And so it's important that if we are changing our scenery and doing things that are very self-care we're going to help ourselves manage that extra stress. And it's important that you're, getting good sleep and drinking lots of water and all those typical things. But my biggest tip is to remove yourself from your current environment, and that will just change up your headspace. You can, go listen to music. You can put earbuds in and listen to music. You can call your friend, talk, change up what you're doing at that moment to really give your mind that mental pause. And in the moment, I love to just, brain dump everything that is bothering me on a list, and I can just tackle that list at a later time. It's important that we build margin in our weeks. God created a day of rest for a reason, because it's very important for us health-wise, mentally, to have that time that we're disengaged from these heavy responsibilities that we're all carrying. So having time of rest weekly is very important. And if you've hit that point, you need to just build some time in, put your phone down, stop doing that. If your kids are burning you out and if it's a circumstance of just frustration, figure out what they can do on their own, figure out what you can do for yourself to give yourself a moment of clarity and peace and calmness. These are all things that we tend to really overlook when we are in a season of just grinding and hustling and just trying to keep everything managed. And so I just want to encourage you guys that it's okay to pause and take a second, because we all need a breather and we all need to recognize that we need to step away sometimes and turn things off and reevaluate, brain dump everything so it's there and you don't feel like you have to remember it all, and come back to it and address it, at a point where you are collected. So in the moment of burnout, I just remove myself from the situation. If I'm in a season of burnout, I purposefully schedule dead time in my schedule, so I have margin in my day. So if things are running over or if things aren't getting done, I'm not as stressed about it, because I have like this cushion of time that, is dead time, and I don't schedule anything in those dead times at all. They are just dead margin times in my day, so that if things need to fluctuate or move, or I need to pause and have that time to collect myself and get back on track, I have that margin in my day. It's very, very important for you to do that. So I just want to encourage you guys that if you're in a season of burnout, it's okay. You can get through it. You can recalibrate yourself, recalibrate your schedule, and get a grip on things so that you are mentally healthier and have that time to engage with yourself and take care of yourself and have a more productive onset of what you're doing next by taking that second to, figure out how you need to work your schedule a little bit differently, how you need to block time in your day, and schedule in those things that are really bothering you and break it down by task. And that's where that brain dump list comes into play, and putting those estimated times next to them so that you can really understand what the time frame is for everything that you have to get done and when you need to get it done by. And you can work from that list knowing, okay, I have this much time today, so I can take that task that was going to take me 2 hours and put it here. So it's just a great productivity tip. And give yourself the time, give yourself the grace, have set time in your day where there's no electronics. I've heard so many families do this. They have, phone-free dinners or phone-free time, or just no TV time, no nothing. It's just, you block these times out during your day. And when you're in a season of burnout, I think that's very important that you're consistently daily doing things that are building you back up and re-energizing you and giving you that space. So turning off your phone at a certain time of day and not turning it back on, turning your emails off, like whatever you have to do, you need to set your boundaries. And that's really going to help you to get past that phase of just complete burnout and overwhelm, and enjoying yourself again, because we don't know how much time we have and there's no reason to be miserable. We can all choose joy. So I hope this helps you guys kind of reevaluate maybe some things that you're stressed with and dealing with, and how you can pause and rework what you're having to accomplish back into your schedule, but in a way that is mindful and intentional and is re-energizing for you. If any of you have any more tips about this, please drop them in the comments. And if you haven't, please go to the Thought Vault podcast on any podcast listening app and listen to the episode on compassion fatigue. There are some great tips and tools in that episode all about this kind of stuff. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.